Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classics / non-classics. This is episode number 206 and Doubleshot number 140. The two trades I got here basically kind of like a couple of finales in a way. One of whom is continuing its numbering. The other one is, I don't think the other one is. I don't know, but they're definitely kind of finales. First up, the final trade collecting issues of Brian Michael Bendis' run for all new X-Men, collecting issues 37 to 41. Now, 38, 39 just tie into Black Vortex. I'll probably talk about those issues when I finally get my hands on Black Vortex. So I'm just going to talk about issue 37 and 40 to 41. 37 is just a standalone issue where it's just a story that features Jean Grey and Emma Frost going out to do whatever the heck they want. I think even Magic shows up in the issue. Let me just double check that. Yeah, Magic shows up briefly in the issue, but just them going to Mandrapore. Mystique herself shows up in the issue, which is nice. We barely see her in the issue. The artwork is weird. Oh yeah, you also get appearance by the Blob, which Jean Grey definitely does know him. Yep. And he's in his classic suit. Yeah. So, it's an alright issue. It's not terrible. But the artwork in this issue is done by issue 37's artist is Mike Del Muto. Yeah. I mean, I actually like the artwork. I mean, I know some people were not fans of this art style when he was doing Elektra, but I like his art style. It's very painted. And yet, Alex Ross has a painted set, and people love his artwork, yet people don't like this guy's artwork. This makes no sense. The last couple issues basically is the title of the thing, Utopians. Which, the Utopians, mind you, are a group of mutants, basically, which some people haven't seen in a while. Basically, it's Utopia, which no one has seen this island since Battle for the Atom, which is something, first time it's been used in a while. And of course, the X-Men are dealing with the after effects of Black Vortex, where Cyclops returned to Earth and Kitty Pryde's gone to space. And of course, comes the most dumbest thing ever when it comes to the X-Men franchise. Something that people still don't like this very day. Bobby Drake outed as being gay. This was purely done for shock value. A lot of people agree with that. And also people say this was dumb. Say, oh, those were hints over the years. I agree with some people on this. Like some people I was one of those people who actually has read almost every single appearance by this guy. There's like no hints at all the fact this guy was gay for years. And yet, let's just out him being gay for no reason. Just, let's just have another gay X-Men. We already got two of them. A Null and Northstar. At least for those two. At least for Northstar was hinted at for years prior to him outing himself as gay. And no, pretty much like not long after his debut, they changed him to be gay. Though I know for a fact Prodigy is recently revealed to be gay. But that itself was done by Kieran Gillian, not by Bendis. But Maria Hill shows up in the issue, which is something. Angel and X-23 sort of cement the relationship, which goes on up until like I believe it's issue 5 of the current volume, where they sort of end their relationship. So it's going on for a better part of a year, which is okay. Now, as for these mutants, basically you have Karma, Boom Boom, Box, Random, there's a couple I don't recognize. These are the Utopians. Yes, these people. Now, I don't know why Karma is here, because last time I checked, she was part of the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. There's no reason why she needs to be here. As for everybody else, I don't know. Random was part of the Marauders. Let's see. They actually give, like, all their names. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. We have Random, Mystique, Mystique. It's not Mystique. It's oh yeah, and Elixir is one of them too. That's who the other two were. But yeah, apparently these people apparently took Shield agents hostage, and then the X-Men supposed to basically negotiate them. Well, they talk to them, they fight them briefly, and they send them free, and they bring them all to the Charles Xavier School for the Higher Learning, which, with the exception of Elixir, none of these characters ever seen again. Nope. None of these characters ever seen again. Of course, Elixir, spoiler alert here, basically Colin Bunn kills him off in the second issue of Uncanny X-Men. Second issue of his one for Uncanny X-Men. But that was part of the actual story. But the three issues that I've talked about in here, the Black Vortex stuff is okay. 37, kind of a weak issue writing-wise. Still, I love the artwork. The last couple issues with the Utopians, it's a good story it's kind of a good story to end his run on. It's not like an awesome story. It's a good story. But the major weakness of this two-parter is Bobby Drake being revealed to be gay. And of course, later on in Uncanny X-Men 600, present-day Iceman is revealed to be gay. This by far is a dumb idea, and I keep thinking, why in the world is Marvel still keeping this around? Despite the fact this is dumb. Just like how Karen Gillan outed, basically revealed another dumb idea that yet this thing is still being around, despite the fact people hated this thing. I mean, not as much as, let's say, retconning the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane, but this was still dumb too. Having Tony Stark revealed to be adopted, that was also dumb too. That was Karen Gillan's fault. That's probably the reason why that Ray Glenn left the series. He probably didn't like that either. But yeah, so basically in the span of a few years, you have a couple really dumb decisions by writers. Bendis himself is still a good writer, but to kind of end his run on All New X-Men like this, where he reveals one of the members is actually gay, just because you want to know a gay member, you can still create an original X-Men to do that. You don't have to turn one of the long-running X-Men gay. That was stupid. But despite that, this is still kind of good. So I got this book at 8.5. Alright, next up, it's a final trade that collects issues from Volume 3 of Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, Last Days, collecting issues 16 and 19, and material from Amazing X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 7 through 8. It's just dealing with the Last Day stuff, plus you get a team up between Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, with this Marvel. Yeah, they actually meet for the first time in this trade. Basically, the main bad guys is her ex-crush, who's kidnapped a relative to make her human. And later on, it's she sort of reveals herself as Miss Marvel to her mother, which she has no problem with it at all. Apparently, she's known all along that she's been Miss Marvel, and she's accepted it. Now, if her father found out, he'd be paranoid. That's one of the. It's not exactly word for word what I said, what she said about it, but he'd be upset. But at least the mother's accepting the fact that she's a superhero and she's actually doing something really good with her life. But these are still a good set of issues. The Amazing Experiments I've talked about before, but it's actually a really good two-part team-up story where Spider-Man teams up with Miss Marvel. I mean, yeah, despite the fact you have to stop dealing with Original Sin, but it's still a really good two-parter. Still a really good, nice set of issues. Of course, it's still referenced stuff with the whole stuff with Last Days. Of course, Earth 1610. That show up in the skies of Earth 616. Everybody's seen it. Yeah, that particular, like every single Last Days tie-in has that particular Earth showing up. Except for the Punisher. Punisher's the only one that doesn't do that. But pretty much like almost everybody else who has a tie-in has a Last Days tie-in. Yeah. The Earth is there. But despite that, this is still really good. Now, the number for this one does continue. I know there's a Volume 5 coming out for this, and even though the series has been relaunched, number 1, which I still think is dumb, this is actually like one of the very few books that when they got relaunched, it actually lasts more than just 5 or 6 issues. This lasted for 19 issues, which you got handed to them. Now, the only other books basically less than was longest. This was Amazing Experiment Volume 3 and Daredevil Volume 4, both of which last 18 issues. Shield, the Mark Waid book before it got relaunched recently, is Ages of Shield. Shield lasted for 12 issues. Spider-Man was 10. And of course, you have several books that last like 5, 6, maybe even 7, maybe 8 issues. But this one lasted the longest of all of them. Now, I know some people were really not everybody was into this, but this character, Kamala Khan, has got a fan base. I like this character really. I'm not really a big fan of her, but I do enjoy her book. Suffice to say, I mean, I'm a more bigger fan of Carol Danvers than I am of her, but I still enjoy reading her stuff. So I'm giving this book a 9.5 out of 10. This is really good. So, let's just show up some artwork, and this is, like I said, the team up that everybody wanted to see. Where, even though it's not her in this costume, it's her in her Last Days costume, which is like black and gray. It's an okay looking costume, but oh yeah, and apparently she actually does accept after rescuing after she helps Miss Marvel rescue her brother, she actually does accept the fact that she actually does accept her not only as a hero, but also her taking the name of Miss Marvel. She has no problem with that at all. And for 19 issues of a run like this, I've enjoyed this. I really have. And this is the last trade that collects issues from Volume 3. Volume 5 collects issues from the current volume, which is Volume 4. So, that's it for this one. Alright, stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode 207, and Doubleshot number 141. Till then, see you there. Bye.